Welcome to today's Explainer. We're going to turn you into a real-life truth detective, equipped to spot the logic traps hiding everywhere in your everyday media. I'm absolutely pumped to guide you through this, because let's face it, we live in this crazy information age. Figuring out what's actually true versus what's just a clever trick, that is an absolute superpower right now. You know, 1 Thessalonians 5:21 offers this perfectly timeless piece of advice. Test everything. Hold on to what is good. And really, this ancient wisdom is our compass for today. The world out there is completely full of traps, and you absolutely must learn to test a source before you just blindly trust it. Whether it's a flashy ad, an opinion piece, or an incredibly compelling speech, testing that information is the only way you can be sure you're holding on to what's actually good and reliable.
Okay, let's quickly map out our agenda for today's toolkit. We'll start with 1, testing the truth. Then 2, what is faulty reasoning? After that, 3 common logic traps, followed by 4, how to interrogate sources, and finally, 5, education, morality, and peace. Let's dive right in.
Section 1. What is faulty reasoning? Defining the threat.
So to be a master detective, you first have to understand exactly what kind of threat you're up against, right? Faulty reasoning isn't just, a simple spelling mistake or getting a quote slightly wrong. It's an actual structural weakness in an argument that can completely mislead you into forming the wrong conclusions. It's a fundamental mistake in logic. And the scary part? These mistakes are literally everywhere. They're hiding in plain sight in ads trying to sell you stuff, opinion articles trying to sway your thoughts, and speeches trying to win your total support.
Now, why does this matter so much? Well, recognizing these errors protects you from making decisions based on terrible logic. Because, let me tell you, just being naturally smart isn't quite enough to keep you safe here. If you accept faulty reasoning, your own conclusions might end up entirely wrong. But actively learning to spot these errors, it's like building a mental shield. You avoid being tricked, you drastically strengthen your own critical thinking, and you end up making way better decisions in life. You're essentially protecting yourself against poor arguments that might otherwise sound incredibly convincing.
Section 2. 3 common logic traps. The suspect lineup.
All right, let's bring in our first suspect, the bandwagon appeal. We hear this marketing tactic all the time. Hey, everyone is buying this phone, so it must be the absolute best. But here's the reality check. Popularity simply doesn't equal quality. This false idea that just because everyone is doing something or believing something, it must automatically be true, that is a massive trap. Look, just because a million people jump on a trend doesn't mean it's actually a good or reliable one.
Next up on the lineup is false cause. Imagine someone saying, well, it rained right after I put on my new shoes. So clearly, my shoes caused the rain. Okay, it sounds pretty silly when you say it out loud, right? But the crazy thing is, people use this exact same logic all the time in much more serious situations. They claim one event caused another purely based on timing. The reality of false cause is that just because one event happens right after another, it doesn't mean the first event actually caused the second. You always have to demand real evidence of a connection.
And our third suspect? Circular reasoning. Imagine hearing, this is the best movie ever because it's my favorite. Do you see the trap there? You aren't actually proving anything at all. You're just walking in a giant circle. Circular reasoning is a huge pitfall because the conclusion is basically just a direct copy of the initial claim. It offers absolutely zero proof to back it up. When you're evaluating a source, keep a really close eye out for authors who just repeat their main point using slightly different words instead of actually proving it with hard facts.
Section 3. How to interrogate sources. Building your toolkit.
Okay, now it's time to actually put our suspects in the hot seat. When you're digging into a source, you have to actively separate the truth from emotionally charged opinions. Here are your steps. Step 1. Look for the hard evidence. Does the author actually back up what they're saying? Step 2. Separate the raw facts and data from the opinions and emotional language. People love to use big, flashy emotional words to distract you from a super weak argument. And step 3. Check if the argument skips important steps or just totally ignores counterarguments. Practicing this routine gives you the power to explain exactly why a claim is weak, instead of just having a vague gut feeling that something's off.
Let's do a quick mental check. Take a second and ask yourself, if you see an ad claiming a product is undeniably great just because everyone else loves it, what is the exact flaw in that logic? Think back to our suspect lineup. Right, the flaw is assuming that popularity automatically equals quality or truth. By actively asking yourself these kinds of questions as you consume information, you're going to make your truth detective skills absolutely razor sharp.
Section 4. Education, morality, and peace. The ultimate why.
So, stepping back and looking at this whole concept through the heroesmartacademy framework, we really have to ask the big question: what is the ultimate point of all this mental training? I mean, what good is being highly educated if you still make choices that hurt you or the people around you? A sharp mind without a moral compass is honestly kind of counterproductive. And this is exactly why biblical morality has to be deeply intertwined with education. Learning to spot logic traps isn't just some boring academic exercise to help you pass a test. It's about making good, solid choices in the real world that ultimately lead you to finding true peace.
In fact, Romans chapter 8 makes a beautiful promise. It guarantees peace of mind to everyone who keeps their mind spiritual. Ultimately, combining incredibly sharp critical thinking, where you test everything and dodge that faulty reasoning, with a strong spiritual mindset is exactly what guarantees true peace as you navigate this wildly complex world. So I'm going to leave you with a final, slightly provocative thought for today. Think about it. Are the arguments you're letting into your mind right now actually bringing you clarity and peace, or are they leading you blindfolded right into a logic trap? Keep testing everything, my friends.